We're now ready to move on to the next stage, which is the media process stage. It's a two-stage process. The first stage is the rendering of the project you see before you, which is the biometric scanner. If it passes this stage, I'll then get it to render the project game anime, which you saw me load right at the beginning. Now, the purpose of doing it this way is to find out if MoviePlus can make a quality product before I delve into the video editor itself. To me, this is very important because you invest a lot of time on the editor and it's really disheartening to find if it can't build a product. So let's walk around the media process screen. The first thing to look at is the total CPU usage. This tells me how well it's using the CPU. The CPUs down here are logical CPUs. These are the threads that go to the cores. There's 2 threads per core, so we've got a quad-core i7 here. So I want to see this balanced across all these logical CPUs down here. So that covers the actual CPU or i7. But I want to be able to look at the other parts of the platform, and that's what hardware info allows me to do. So I will be monitoring things like the I/O operations, I'll be monitoring the hard drive as well as the GPU. So that gives me the system resources. Process Explorer is very, very useful to tell me what is the resource consumed by the platform, and I can compare that with what resources are consumed by the MoviePlus process space itself. And that way I can then measure how efficient this application is in using the platform. And let's not forget, this is the star of the show, it's MoviePlus. So let's start the process. And to do that, we have to do an export of the file. The first thing I noticed about this part of the process is this dialogue is quite informative and useful, and this dialogue here is very, very useful. And given that this is not even what they call a professional product, this is a professional way of approaching it. So it's a 4-star award as far as I'm concerned. Well done to the guys that did this. It's a very good, very clean, very easy to understand. You could create your own presets. Very nice process indeed. Another thing I like is this dialog box. I mean, it's very easy to read. You can tell the time it's taken to start the rendering and the expected time to complete it. Now, at the early stage, they're always fast, but it's actually looking at more on the 20 to 30 second side by all accounts. This is the process space. I'm looking at the actual CPU usage, which is on the far right, which is what I'm showing here. So it's really hitting the resources. And looking at the time, it's disappointing really. The benchmark is actually 21 seconds, and this took 1minute 14 seconds. That's a long time. That's a long time. And for a 16-second file, as it says there, timeline duration 16 seconds. So 1minute 14 is not good efficient use of the actual CPU. Now, looking at that, that means to me I wouldn't want to try and do the game anime because it would take a long time. You're looking about 6 to 8 hours, and I'm not going to do that. It also failed the test. Now, I immediately got in touch with Serif because I thought this application warranted that as well. It's a very nice looking application. They got back very, very quickly. The first one was not favorable, but they did get back again. And from what they were saying, they can't do anything with the X6 version, but they will be doing things as X7. They're going to call it a new feature, which I did reply saying I didn't consider the standard being a new feature. But on the whole, technical support, in my view, warranted me to continue. And I give this 4 stars because of that. But it is a process hog, and it's seriously bad for that amount of time to do that. It used no part of the GPU, it didn't use any other resources than the CPUs, and it didn't use them very well. So there's something wrong with the libraries it's using. But that being said, and due to the fact that technical support got back with a very good solution, I will continue testing MoviePlus.